Hi, I'm Rita Wilkins, also known as the Downsizing Designer. Today's topic is kind of fun, and I think that you're going to find quite a bit of truth in it. It's about boxes, bubble wraps, and the big fat lies we tell ourselves when we are trying to survive a move. So you might start decluttering and downsizing, full of excitement. You're armed with a stack of boxes, the Sharpies, and also maybe 5 huge rolls of bubble wrap. And you tell yourself, this is going to be fun. It's a fresh start, and it's a whole new chapter to my life. So you're ready to conquer all that clutter that has built up over the last 20 or 30 years, and you can hardly wait to live that more serene life in your smaller home. Then you open your basement door, and that's when reality sets in. You find yourself staring at piles of boxes and plastic bins that have been sitting there for many years, maybe even some since your last move. So moving is like a roller coaster of emotions. At the start, there's optimism, there's energy, and all of that propels you forward. Then midway, you're exhausted, you're overwhelmed, and self-doubt is starting to take hold. And then at the end, you might be sitting around your new kitchen table with a glass of wine in hand, and you laugh at some of the ridiculous lies that you told yourself just to keep yourself going, and you marvel at the fact that you even made it. So that's kind of the story of how moves go. And this particular video is going to explore those big lies that we tell ourselves when we're packing and when we're downsizing, the emotions that they trigger, and also the practical survival tips that can keep your energy, your sanity, and your sense of humor intact. So the first big lie we tell ourselves is, I'll remember what's in that box. So this is actually a classic lie that we tell ourselves. We've all said it, standing over a half-packed box, feeling rather triumphant because you're finally getting through to almost the last closet or the last chest of drawers. You tape it shut and you think, for sure, I'm going to remember what I put in that box. So those are famous last words, because then maybe 3 months later, when you open that box, you look inside and you're staring at the contents and you're saying, there's random cords, and then there's old cell phones, and maybe a stack of old magazines, and maybe a number of college textbooks. And you think, what on earth was I thinking? Why did I even keep this stuff? So here's the truth. Once that box is sealed, your brain actually moves on. We've already shifted to the next box or the next bunch of decisions that have to be made. So we convince ourselves that we'll remember because we want to avoid making yet another decision in that moment. So we take shortcuts by tossing miscellaneous things into the boxes, telling ourselves, well, we'll get that straightened out later. Well, the reality is that later doesn't always come. And these boxes become like that silent, hidden clutter. And they represent the emotional energy that we didn't have at that time. So here's the survival tip. When you make yourself write down what's inside of that box, you're consciously confronting each item. And sometimes, just sometimes, that act of labeling the box will force you to admit that it's not important enough to keep, and maybe it should be discarded. So the truth is, moving is actually a perfect opportunity to help you declutter. The second big lie is that 5 rolls of bubble wrap will be just fine. Somewhere between optimism and denial lives that classic moving day lie of 5 rolls of bubble wrap will be enough. You say it with confidence as you toss it into the cart at the office supply store. It feels so organized and so proactive. And you imagine wrapping the entire kitchen, your grandma's china, and every fragile memory in those 5 rolls. Then reality hits you, at midnight probably. You've already gone through 4 of the 5 rolls and you haven't even touched the glassware yet. So if this sounds familiar, suddenly you're now scavenging for anything that is remotely cushiony or soft, and anything like old towels, mismatched socks, or even yesterday's newspaper. And so here's the truth. Bubble wrap isn't just about protecting your stuff, it's about protecting your peace of mind. So when you underestimate what it takes to safely pack your fragile items, it often is because we underestimate just how much stuff we really have. So we want the process to be easy, neat, and controlled. But downsizing isn't about control, it's about acceptance. accepting the fact that we've accumulated a lot over our lifetime and maybe a little bit too much. So there is a survival tip for that instead of buying more bubble wrap, buy yourself some grace and a sense of humor. When you start wrapping all those fragile things, pause and ask yourself, is this worth the bubble wrap? You'll be amazed at how many of those times you'll say, no, it's really not. So, because sometimes the most liberating moments in the downsizing process is that not everything needs to be protected and wrapped, maybe only the things that matter. Lie number 3 is we really don't have that much stuff. We've all said this. It's the famous last words that we catch ourselves uttering. We tell ourselves with complete confidence until we start opening the closets, the drawers, the attics, and the basements. Suddenly, we discover 4 sets of dishes, a lifetime supply of candles, and enough holiday decor to light up your entire cul-de-sac. So it is human nature to underestimate the amount of possessions that we have because we stop seeing them. They blended into the background of our lives. The pile in the corner kind of becomes invisible. And when you start pulling everything out of those cabinets and the closets, that sheer volume of those just-in-case items can actually be overwhelming. So this is the moment when you have to face the reality that you do have too much stuff. So before you even think about packing, take an inventory, walk room by room, take pictures of everything that you actually own. No judgment, just awareness. So the goal is to wake you up. And when you see it clearly, you can make more intentional choices about what stays and what goes. It may sting a little bit at first, but freedom follows being honest with yourself. And tip number 4 is we can do it ourselves. So this lie starts with really good intentions and maybe a little bit of overconfidence. So we often think that we can handle every box, every label, and every load that goes to the donation site. But somewhere between day number 4 and trip number 12 to that donation site, reality sets in. Tempers flare, muscles are sore, and you seriously start questioning why you thought it was a good idea to do this all by yourselves. So downsizing and decluttering isn't just about sorting and lifting. It's about making thousands of decisions. Each one is layered with memories and meaning and sometimes even guilt. So the truth, ask for help. Accept it if someone offers you help, whether it's friends or family or even a professional downsizing firm. People that care about you want to be part of your next chapter, so let them. You'll finish faster, safer, and with your sanity intact. Here's a survival tip. You can do it by yourself, but you don't have to. So ask for help early and maybe get professional help, create a plan, and set clear goals for yourself and give yourself permission to actually enjoy the process. And my last lie, number 5, is unpacking will be quick and easy. So we all tell ourselves this lie because we want to stay sane during that chaos of moving. But after weeks or maybe even months of sorting, packing, labeling, lifting, we think that we'll magically be able to unpack, organize everything, and everything will have a place in our new home. But the reality is unpacking isn't quick. It's a process and it's messy, just like packing was. So you're going to find yourself wondering, who packed the Christmas ornaments with the bathroom toilet paper? Or questioning why you packed 4 identical black sweaters. So it turns out that it's kind of like packing in reverse, only this time you're tired, your patience is wearing thin, and your enthusiasm kind of left when the moving truck rolled out of your driveway. So a survival tip here is instead of rushing to finish, approach unpacking slowly. Take your time. It's actually part of your new beginning. So focus on the essentials first, things that you truly need, and then leave the rest until you can find the exact right place for it and until you have time and you can maybe enjoy the process. So unpacking is a powerful filter. If you don't feel excited about unpacking it, you just might have the answer, so you can let that go. So give yourself permission to go slow, to breathe, to celebrate the progress instead of perfection. Because sometimes the real work and the real freedom begins after the boxes arrive in your new home. So the bottom line is, moving is never about boxes and bubble wrap. It's about facing the stories that we tell ourselves, confronting those big lies, and deciding what to carry forward into your new home and into your new life. And by recognizing these 5 lives, we can actually move with humor, with grace, and also with sanity. And so we can let go of the past and make space for what matters and step into your new chapter, both physically and also emotionally. So the next time that you're staring at a mountain of boxes, just pause and ask yourself, am I packing for my future, or am I dragging my past along with me? Because moving isn't just about where you're going, it's also about who you will become once you get there. So I hope this helps. If you want to know more about downsizing and decluttering, there are 2 books that I would recommend and 2 of my videos. So the first book is Downsizing Family Home Workbook. It's what to save and what to let go of. It's by Marnie Jameson. I've read it a number of times. It's helped me formulate a lot of my own ideas for what I share with you on my videos. And then the second one is Decluttering and Downsizing Your Family Home. This is all about strategies for more of a stress-free transition. That one's actually recommended if you're really overwhelmed by the whole process. It's just a step-by-step. And then I've got 2 videos that I've done in the past that you might want to revisit. One is, if not now, when? It's about the hidden cost of delaying your downsizing decision. And the second one is 10 things every woman over 50 shouldn't declutter right now if she wants to keep her freedom. And then I do have an announcement to make, and that's that my newest book is called The Letting Go Workbook, is going to be released on October 15th. So if you are interested, keep that date in mind. If you want to be put on a waiting list, please let me know. You can just email me at ritawilkins@ritawilkins.com. Thanks.